Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. The weather's been rather weird here. Last 2 days it was like in the 50s, and now all of a sudden it's cold today. It was cold this morning. It was like 18 degrees. Yeah, it's not winter's now. Well, it's still chilly out. It's still spring, so still a chill in the air. I heard some other states got it worse. We got heavy winds and rain. I think other states have gotten tons of snow, more wind. Yeah, so winter hasn't left in some places. Anyway, decided I wanted to stir up another topic. This will be, of course, just another talking video. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Panzer Dragoon, the series that Sega had started on the Sega Saturn. We got Panzer Dragoon, the original, Panzer Dragoon 2, and then the final one that was kind of released in the waning days of the Saturn, Panzer Dragoon Saga. I've talked about this game a few times. Is burned discs, like the 4-disc, yeah, the classic kind of 4-disc RPG. Um, yeah, I mean, this is a great game. Of course, it's like Panzer Dragoon. Like instead of a rail shooter, like a lot of the other ones was, it's a RPG. Excuse me, an RPG. Unfortunately, I did not get the instruction booklet with this reproduction, but I like how they put it in an actual case that's plastic. There's a lot of times like a lot of those other cases where the super huge plastic cases that get cracked so easily, but this is nice. Yeah, and of course they put the labels on it and everything. Of course, I bought this and someone told me it was a repo. Yeah. Of course, this will not play unless you have the backup unlocker for the Sega Saturn, which I have. So I'm able to actually play these on actual hardware. Yeah, the emulator won't read the discs because they're repos, but it was cool. This game used I used a 3D controller in this, and this was kind of the end of the series. So, yeah. And I never really originally heard about Panzer Dragoon. Yeah, I didn't even really know it even existed. It's like one of those things. Like I just recently rediscovering it. The game that helped me really want to know about the series was Panzer Dragoon Horta. Oh, let's see here. Let me find a picture here that we can use. Give me a sec. Find a picture I can bring up so we can see. Don't worry, I'll get it figured out here. Let's see. Source 2. Now just a sec here. That's. Well, there we go. Oh. All right, there we go. Let me get this fixed here. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yep, Panzer Dragoon Orta. I remember it was like I had an Xbox. Yeah, it was one of those like exclusive Xbox games. Of course, Sega's right on it. I believe that this game probably originally was thought up to be a Dreamcast game because it uses the Softex software. I think this was originally what probably was originally thought to be a Dreamcast game, but then it was a lot of Sega's properties went over the Xbox. This game is backwards compatible on the more modern Xboxes. So I mean, there's other ways to play this, but I don't think I don't think there was ever a PC port of this. It was, as it says, it was only on Xbox. So yeah, recently I have the Xbox emulator and I've been playing it. It has some frame rate problems. I think not as bad as some people have claimed. I think the Xbox emulator just has to update a little bit, or maybe there was something about this game. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's pretty good, pretty great game. What was cool about this game is that as you play, you unlock a thing called Pandora's Box, which is essentially like this whole thing, and you can also unlock the original game. So I was able to play the very first Panzer Dragoon. You get that unlocked on here. This is a very unique game because it was a rail shooter, but then you could also play as another scenario. Like you could play as a young boy from the Empire, so you could have a different perspective on things, which was cool. Essentially, you find out this is like the same dragon. It's like the dragon of legend shows up to save her. Now, what's unique is Orda is the daughter of Edge and that synthetic woman that she was an enemy and then she became an ally. Yeah, essentially well, yes. Orda, oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, as you can see. Orda is the daughter of these two, of Edge, the main character from this, and the synthetic woman. She's supposedly their child. Yeah, it's kind of unique. Just supposedly this is the same dragon that's been reincarnated all the time. In Panzer Dragoon Saga, they kind of talked about it and kind of linked all the other games to it to try to say that this was the same dragon that has been in every game. It just doesn't remember, so you have to like unlock its memories in Saga, and then you can like an extra special ending or something. Eventually, Panzer Dragoon Saga was, yeah, Orda. Let me talk about Orda. Yeah, Orda goes back to the roots, back to the classic rail shooter. Sometimes you have to break or go forward. You can change. Your dragon has multiple different forms you can change to. It's kind of almost like a hybrid kind of thing. Oh, and your different dragon forms can level up. Like you'll destroy a certain amount of enemies, like a little round orb disc looking thing will come, and you see that you have like you get two of those, you can level up to like a different level. And yeah, the many things like, well, there's the base form. The base form is pretty much good with attack and everything, but then there's a form that it can do really good attacks, but it can't do any boost. It can't do any of the boost things. There's one that has a machine gun that's kind of like a rapid fire form. It makes it easier for you to shoot down missiles and stuff that are coming at you. Well, essentially, in Orda, the Empire is up to its own tricks again. They've been able to create dragon mirrors, which are which is kind of like the dragon, but not really like evil, kind of twisted. The dragon mirrors and the Empire, of course, is just harassing people and destroying things. Because this series takes place in some far-flung future where technology pretty much almost destroyed the world, and this dragon supposedly was created by a bunch of scientists that wanted to make up for what they did, all the killer biological weapons and stuff running around. And the Empire is a bunch of fools that try to find technology to try to control other people. Still a very great series. Now in Panzer Dragoon Orta, I was like interested to know like what was Panzer Dragoon. Yeah. It's a very innovative series. Sega made some really great series. Unfortunately, Panzer Dragoon. Well, let's go back to Panzer Dragoon Saga. Panzer Dragoon Saga was not really much widely known because it was trapped on the Saturn, a console that most people didn't play and most people didn't really care about having back in the day. Yeah, it got to where Saturn people couldn't even give Saturns away. There was, of course, many different things people thought about the Saturn, but of course, when Saga came out, what other top RPGs could we think that had already been out? Like Final Fantasy VII? Most people would rather play Final Fantasy VII than play the Saturn. I missed out on the Saturn like completely. I remember seeing ads about it, but if I had known that I could have gotten a Saturn for like $50 back in the day, I would have jumped at it. I just didn't know because I was, as a kid, I didn't have money to buy things at a different era. Most definitely. I think this was made in. Look at the dates here. Mind-boggling graphics. Mind-boggling graphics for the Saturn. Well, also in the we'll go back to Panzer Dragoon Orta here. There's of course like encyclopedias to unlock, and that explains a lot of the storyline and the way the world is and how everything is in the whole world of it. And it also references the saga and many different things. Well, essentially in Orta, she was like this village had her imprisoned. And then, of course, the Dragomirs come to kill her, and then the Dragon of Legend shows up and blows him away. Then you're flying upon the dragon. Then she meets this drone called Abad or something, and she's kind of like, what is his role in all of this and stuff? But then we found that Orta is like the child. Of course, as I said, she was the child of Edge and the synthetic woman, which was believed to be impossible for that to happen. Yeah, so it was like Measure Good Order was kind of a revival of the whole series. I think for a while, many people played this on the Xbox. It may be a game that many people didn't really think about, or maybe played and didn't really think about how cool it was. It Orta is now one of those games where it's, you know, maybe back when it was released, it wasn't really thought very highly of a game, but it's definitely a game. Panzer Dragoon Orta, definitely want to play it. It may be weird for it to be, a rail shooter. We're used to that, but I think it's kind of cool. It almost has kind of an arcade feeling when it's kind of like that. Yeah, overall, I think the storyline of it is just really cool, and it never gets old to kind of play some of these games. It's just incredible to think that the Xbox had that game, and I just happened to be lucky and have an Xbox and managed to have that game. But it's always like, what's Panzer Dragoon? I never quite understood what it was, but yeah. Yeah, Panzer Dragoon Saga, it's a great game. I don't think it's worth $1,500. I think that was what I saw the last price was going for. It says you could sell the discs for like a couple $100, but of course, the older discs are like 20 years old. Yeah, there was very limited release of Panzer Dragoon Saga, so that was why the game was mostly unknown. Panzer Dragoon Orta, of course, really helped to revitalize the thing. Unfortunately, I guess there has not been. Wow, yeah, that Order came out in 2002, so there has not been another Panzer Dragoon game. I kind of wish that there would be another one. There would be another one, or they would do a remake of Panzer Dragoon Saga or whatever. Supposedly, Sega lost the source code to Panzer Dragoon Saga, That's kind of the reason why there's not been any PC ports of it or whatever. Supposedly they lost the source material. So one of the major ways to play, well, you can get the ISOs and run it on emulators. I was having issues running Panzer Dragoon Saga, but that was a couple years ago, and I didn't have that best of a computer. So yeah, that was a while ago. So of course, I've discovered some other Saturn emulators. I'll probably give them a try and see if they work, because I remember I had to use it on a lot of the older emulators. I know of a very good emulator we'll probably try to use at some point. Try to play it. Yeah, Panzer Dragoon Orta. I believe you can buy it on the digital storefront. I think you can still get this on the. I think on the Xbox One it allows you to download this game. I think too. Yeah, of course, as I said, it is backwards compatible, thankfully, so it's not like trapped on it. Yeah, I think the best way is to probably play it on a modern Xbox. Yeah. I will see if I can find a copy of Orta. Shouldn't be too hard to find. It's not a highly prized game. I think most of you may not even know about that game unless you were really into the Xbox back in the day. Wow, 2002. Yeah, this makes me dated, but I graduated high school in 2001. So yeah, that was a little bit ago. That was a while ago. Yeah, I don't think Panzer Dragoon franchise is going to come back, but it would be cool. Yes, I have played the remake of the original one on the Switch. I thought it was cool. I've seen rumors of the demo of the Panzer Dragoon 2, like Zell or something. That's a unique game because most of the time your dragon is running on the ground. So there's a lot of innovative kind of. Yeah, the second game was really cool too. Pretty cool. Like there's a young boy and he discovers this weird creature. And see, I guess these people in his village are so superstitious and they've always been killing these creatures when they show up. But I guess, when he decides he's not going to kill this creature, he's going to keep one. So he keeps one and raises it. And then some weird flying ship shows up, some evil ship, and it's like, then his village is getting attacked and blown up. And yeah, his village is destroyed. And this creature, like, it supposedly turns out to be the dragon. But it's in its young youth stage, so you have to, like, for the most part, you have to ride on it the first beginning of it. I've heard that the new remake of it looks horrible. The demo looked completely terrible. I know it's a demo. Maybe they'll fix it or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have not played the Panzer Dragoon games, I definitely suggest that you should play them. Yeah, I wish that I had played the original one instead of playing the yeah, Panzer Dragoon Orta was definitely the game that kind of told me that the series existed. It was the first game in the series that I ended up playing. Yeah. Yeah, the Saturn was not really well liked back then, but now of course, we have a big comeback of retro gaming. Emulators, ROMs, I mean, emulators are getting even better, so. Yeah, hopefully I might try to do videos of some gameplay of some of these Panzer Dragoon games. I just gotta see what I can get with see if I get I have the Yamar emulator for the Saturn, and that usually has the best compatibility. I guess as RetroArch's compatibility is not all that great. Okay, well, that's enough of me gushing about this series. I really love this game series, the Panzer Dragoon game series. Really is great. I know it's a rail shooter. It's not for everybody, but I definitely suggest you give it a try. Yeah, Orta is a particularly beautiful game. So yeah, the game still looks great. those years, and I think it's rather fun. Of course, it does have, it has English subtitles and people speaking Japanese. So is that, but it's cool. I really like the story and dialogue and everything. It's just really a great series. So as I said earlier, make sure you guys get out and try this series and see if you like it. Said Panzer Dragoon Orta is relatively easy to find on the original Xbox, or download it, or backwards compatible if you happen to have the game laying around. Definitely probably worth a go. Yeah, as I said, the Xbox emulator is a little bit iffy with it. Some people claim they've had some real frame rate problems. There's some issue with this particular game. See, I don't know if this was a port of the Dreamcast, but it definitely feels to me like this was probably supposed to be on the Dreamcast. I remember the Dreamcast pooped out in 2001. Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't the Dreamcast poop out in 2001 or around that time? Yeah, so this was probably, Panzer Dragoon Orta was probably a canceled Dreamcast game that then got put onto the Xbox, which is great because it would have been terrible if this game had been canceled. Yeah, if this game had been canceled, I probably never would have even thought about the Panzer Dragoon Saga stuff. Of course, this was before, before we had YouTube and all that stuff to constantly tell you and ruin everything for you. But yeah, I just don't particularly want to ruin the game too much for you. So, all right. Well, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. And feel free to leave any comments. Have you guys played any of the Panzer Dragoon Saga games? Yeah, it's really is cool. Yeah, I definitely suggest going. If a lot of you have not gone back, you should look at some of these retro game series because some of them are pretty cool. Panzer Dragoon, the whole Panzer Dragoon franchise is just a great set of games, I think. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah, and like, did you guys have the Sega Saturn back in the day and all that stuff? Well, okay, well, I'll see you guys in the next video then. Catch you guys later. Bye.